Hey guys, Nietzsche here. Come to you with my first real PvP video. I've got my boy here, Kenshyron, joining me to help out with this. Kenshyron, how are you, man?
Man, I'm so excited. We just had so much fun doing one in my channel. I had to come and continue the party over here, but we love PvP, so I'm always down to do some content for PvP, my guy. How you doing?
That is awesome. I am great. We are going to dive into this with the top 10 PvP characters outside of the bans that we were talking about on Kenshyron's channel. So please go check out his channel, watch the ban video first, and then come join us here. So coming in at number 10, we have the duo Longshot and Shatterstar. They're an awesome combination. I'm gonna let you take it, Ken. Please let us know.
At the dad, bro, grandpa to the grandpa, dad to the dad. I love this duo, man. They're so fun in the game. I can't wait to see the rest of X Factor come through. But yeah, Shatterstar is actually one of the speeder characters in this game. He is a very, very good character. For PvP purposes, he can go really early. He's very devastating. Both his special and his ult are available on first turn. But what really makes him get going, because most of the time he might not be necessarily like a top pick or a first pick in PvPs. If you do manage to get to sneak in long shot, and then you get he's kind of like that sixth pick, right? When it comes to like if you get your last character rejected, then you can bring in Shatterstar because his passive is tremendous on self or ally crit, barrier self and X Factor allies. So once again, benefiting long shot if you have them together for this battle of 20% of this character's max health, and then on turn heal for 20% of this character's max health. So you most of the time they kind of tend to stay alive together. What do you think? What's going on there?
Yeah, absolutely. They are an incredible duo. You do need to have Shatterstar typically as that sixth pick. After the reject phase, you can bait people with other characters, sneak long shot in there, and then pull in Shatterstar as your sixth. With long shots, crit and increasing your speed bar by 20% for self and all X Factor allies. They are a very deadly combo. Long shots ultimate does a ridiculous amount of damage.
Yeah.
So, and then his special, which is a very low cooldown, provides bleed and AoE damage. They are one of the best. I know they're pretty much the best RTA combo and one of the best PvP combos. However, the reason they fall in number 10 is because they do have to have the duo.
Yeah, run the duo, and then if not, things may fall apart. I
Yep.
like the duo though. All right, and now we're gonna talk at number 9 about Blob and Toad. And yes, another duo combination here for this one. I love using both of these guys. Sometimes I've managed to just not be able to get the duo going, so I pick one or the other. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Toad, if that's okay with Nietzsche. He's actually a pretty decent controller. The good thing about Toad is he kind of brings a lot of different equations into a PvP battle with acid sprayed. You end up spreading all the negative effects again, or prolonging them by one. And then leapfrog, they're both pretty low cooldown. So while acid sprayed is not necessarily available right away, usually you end up starting with leapfrog, and you do clear some negative effects from self, and applying taunt and defense to Blob. Once again, the duo combination. It's good because you do clear some positive effects. So anybody like Ebony Maw or someone else that spawns with immunity, hopefully you can manage to take some of those immunities on the first turn. But yeah, an amazing controller in his own right, and definitely a stronger character if you manage to get him in with Blob. Which, Nietzsche, I'll let you take all the glory about Blob.
Yeah, so one of the amazing things about Toad is that on his ultimate, he's gonna give Blob that ton up. Blob has an amazing resistance to prevent a lot of those dispels, a lot of those debuffs that are gonna get applied to you. He's got great armor. He has good health. He is going to be that tank for you that you need. He's getting that offense up on 2 turns. He does those counterattacks, a lot of damage. He's putting up deflects, so typically what you want it to try to do is get him in one of those first 3 slots to where he's putting up deflects to the allies next to you. Great character. He with Toad, they work really, really well together. Solo, I would say Blob is slightly better. We're going to talk about a little bit later the synergy with another character on this list that the both of them work really well with.
Yeah, Blob is annoying.
So coming in at number 8, we have Squirrel Girl. She has a special place in my heart. Anyone that has PvP'd me knows that Squirrel Girl is my girl, and you're only allowed to use her if I allow you to. You have to have my permission.
Yeah.
However, she has a great kit that I feel a lot of people underestimate. She has the dispel all negative effects from allies, and then it also has an assist from an ally that is incredible. The turn order, typically it comes after, normally Magneto, it comes after a lot of different characters that you want that dispel after. So her speed works out very, very well with the rest of your team. On top of that, turn 2, she's got her ultimate, which is going to apply bleeds, it's going to do damage, it's cannot miss, so if you're blind or whatever, it's still going to hit that enemy. And it's applying offense down.
She is awful.
Yes, great ability, great stuff. And then you've got her basic, which is doing some damage and then applying offense down to the person with the most speed bar. What are your thoughts, Ken?
No, she's definitely a top PvP choice. I tend to never usually have her as like my top pick per se, but she's always in my mind when I'm doing the pick and ban phase, and I'm like, when am I gonna pick her? Like, it's not just like if I'm gonna pick her, it's when am I gonna pick her, because she is that good. And like you said, the biggest thing with her is she counters a lot of the actual PvP meta characters too. You know, a lot of what makes the character really good in PvP is the control factor, blinding someone, ability block, etc., and all of that. And that cleanse is available early, and Eat Nuts is only a 3-turn cooldown too. So very, very good character for PvP for sure.
Yep. So coming in at number 7, we've got another group of characters with the symbiotes. We're going to kick it off over to Ken talking about Spider-Man symbiote and Carnage.
Yeah. So symbiotes, as you guys know, are so good everywhere in this game, and in PvP, they still don't disappoint. So, what makes them great is always the turn meter. And, with Carnage, we're going to talk about Carnage first. His passive, when you end up filling the speed by 30%, whenever an enemy drops below 25% health, that's going to be adding a lot of turn meter in your favor too in PvP battles. And PvP, the more turns that you have, pretty much the more you can guarantee the win on that aspect. So Carnage makes that. He's also a good counter to a lot of the other meta characters too that are being used in PvP as well. And then Symbiote Spider-Man, it's Symbiote Spider-Man. What else can we say about this guy? He's just amazing. Not a wasted ability on this kid at all. And it's still very, very valuable to this day in PvP. Slingshot is going to be a wonderful move that you use quite often in him. It's only a 3-turn cooldown, but if you can manage to get a web slam and slow the opponents for 2 turns, trouble, pain coming your way. What do you think?
Absolutely. Symbiote Spider-Man is one of those characters that is really also viable on this list, in that same position for a solo type character. However, I think Anti-Venom slightly takes the lead here. Anti-Venom, he has that immunity on his special, which is huge. You can counter a lot of different characters, and he's just slightly faster actually than Hela to be able to prevent those spreads, especially with those ability blocks and things like that. He's faster than X23, assuming you don't get a character on your team below 50% to speed up X23. So he is a great counter to a lot of different combinations, a great character. If you can get the other symbiotes on the team, this group just becomes extremely powerful and almost deadly and unbeatable.
For sure. Yeah. Run away from the symbiotes when you see them all together. All right, and at number 6, we have yet another group, another faction, and we are talking about Inhumans in this one. And my God, are they a pain to deal with too in PvP as well, especially when you have at least a duo made of for both of these guys. They're all good in their own way. You can definitely get away with just running a yo-yo when it comes to PvP. Black Bolt, like we mentioned, as long as you can maintain him alive, he'll do tons of damage. But Crystal's actually very underrated and a good character in PvP as well. With a kit that can counter some of the meta characters, especially Cold Snap in particular. Phoenix is a pain in PvP, so that's a good one. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this faction, Nietzsche?
I think they are a great duo trio. Yo-Yo in herself provides that offense down to your enemy opponent and can really reduce a lot of damage that is done to you. If you are lucky enough, normally you do pick Yo-Yo as a sixth pick. And Black Bolt potentially could get banned earlier. If he doesn't, then you pick that Yo-Yo, or you could pick them both a little bit earlier. But even if they ban Black Bolt, you still have some usability with Yo-Yo, because Yo-Yo does provide that offense down to your enemy opponents. And if you get to keep her and Black Bolt's banned per se, then you can bring in Crystal. And Crystal with Yo-Yo is still an incredible combination. You can explain why that.
Yeah, for sure. Once again, and we know how good Yo-Yo's basic is paired up with Black Bolt, where you end up clearing those two positive effects, but not another bad basic if you end up pairing her with Crystal at the same time. You end up applying slow for 2 turns, plus the bleed. Not many basics do that in the game. So, and plus second wind, keep your Yo-Yo alive even longer as well. So once again, a really good passive for this team. Ends up healing the characters once they hit below 50% health, and then clearing 3 negative effects at the same time. So lots of survivability if you end up increasing Crystal. So you can go either way. Very, very good combinations with either or.
So coming in at number 5 is Hela. Obviously, Hela is an amazing character. She summons Greg, who's going to reduce speed bar of your enemies. So it's going to make your enemies AoE or area of effect effects that damage multiple characters, punish them by reducing their speed bar. She also has the ability, and normally you're going to pair her with a Zemo or an X23 or something that provide a lot of debuffs to your opponent. And those debuffs get spread by Hela, and it becomes a fairly deadly combination. She works really well with Loki and Mordo and characters like that just provide a lot of utility for her kit.
Yeah, for sure. It's a field day for you if you can have Hela and a couple of other characters like you mentioned that can provide some debuffs, especially earlier before she gets to go, and then spread those debuffs, ability block on everyone. It's a pain at that point too. So very good character. If you don't deal with her with Hela early on, you're in for a struggle in this fight. She definitely brings the pain and nothing wasted on her kit either. That's what we love about her. That she pretty much can do anything, applying disrupted as well. So very good character for PvP and definitely worthy of that number 5 spot, in my opinion.
Yep. So coming in at number 3 is Loki. Loki is one of those characters that a lot of people have, kind of dismissed in recent times due to all these legendaries, all these other elite characters coming out. However, he is still ridiculous with his ultimate. That ultimate and that mind control, getting those 2 mind controls on a specific target can change the outcome of game. He pairs wonderfully with X-23, Ghost Rider, Hela, Mordo. His speed up for those Mystic controllers with Ghost Rider and Hela helps out that team. And then just dropping people below that 50% mark helps out Zemo and X-23. Then you have on turn 2 the stealth that you can put on all of your team. And so Loki's kit is incredible. Obviously, he is one of those characters that you are really looking for just that turn 1 because he's super fast. And that's his main purpose. And then everything else is kind of a luxury. But incredible character, deserves that number 3 spot.
Yeah, for sure. And I think underrated in the game too, to be honest. Like a lot of people don't really give his kit the value, but once again, his value is on the speed and when that mind control being available so early in the match for you. So pairing him up with another follow-up character, those as you mentioned, Mystic controllers can definitely benefit from joining Loki on the battlefield. We didn't talk about him in the banning phase because he doesn't ever seems to get banned, but man, he's one of the first one that you're looking to actually grab whenever a PvP battle actually lands. So a very good option, I think, too, at number 3.
Yep.
Okay, and at number 2, we have the Master of Magnetism. As we just talked about him in my video, this guy is a pain in PvP. He's definitely an honorable mention. He tends to get banned quite often just because he's so good in PvP. This guy just doesn't lose value in PvP, at least in the game, because of his magnetic vortex. Pulling all enemies into 2 spaces, you're going to be grouping them and then attacking the primary targets within 2 spaces for 200 damage, but then applying the blind. Jesus, you're in trouble if you don't have anybody that can clear those debuffs in the field. You're gonna get a lot of turns, blinds on the other side. So, and then he's not only good because of that, but he's also very good because of his passive. If you pair this guy up with a couple of Brotherhood characters like Blob or like Toad, this guy's gonna go pretty fast in the game. So definitely take advantage of pairing him. If you can manage to sneak in another Brotherhood member, you fill the speed bar by 15% plus 50% speed bar per Brotherhood ally. So a couple of Brotherhood allies in the field, and this guy just goes off, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. He has a lot of synergy with a lot of different characters. And, he's going to add some health to Mr. Sinister. Him and Mr. Sinister is one of the best combinations to get on the field. That mutant, and if you can get Emma out there, that is incredible. But one of the key things with him, which you were just talking about, is that speed increase based on the amount of Brotherhood allies you have on the field. So the fact that he's got, a mid-level speed, you can literally speed him up to the degree that you want him to be at based on the amount of Brotherhood characters you have on the field. So if you realize that, God, I just need a little bit more speed to go before this person, let's just throw another Brotherhood ally out there, you can do that. And now Magneto is going to get that blind before that person. So the ability to manipulate his speed is incredible. And obviously his special also applies that disrupt for 2 turns, the slow. So he's got a great kit. He's got a lot of synergy that is very dangerous for your opponents. So he definitely comes in at number 2 for the top 10 outside bands list. Coming in at number 1, we have X-23. X-23 is one of the characters that did fall under the honorable mentions for the band list that has been showcased on Kenshyron's channel. Please go check that out. She is an incredible character with an incredible kit. On turn, she does her heals. Whenever an enemy drops below 50%, she gets speed bar. Her special applies an ability block, which is huge, and it works really well with someone like a Hela. And if that character has a dodge, has block, or the block ability up, then she will double attack with an unavoidable attack and apply an ability block there. So she can actually stack that ability block up onto your opponent. Great character, Feral Rage. Her ultimate does a ridiculous amount of damage as well.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, I think she's such a priority to target in PvP as well, because if you don't take her out early and you're in a one-on-one fight with this one, man, you're in trouble. With Snicked, you get that gain evade as well, but with her passive, once again, if she drops below 50%, then she ends up gaining 2 evades as well, plus on turn she heals as well. So yeah, don't wait till the last minute to take out your X-23 as an opponent. She's that good in PvP. Okay, and now for some of our honorable mentions, we're going to be actually talking about a couple of supernatural characters. They have been in the game for some time, but this duo in particular has seen their fair action in PvP nowadays. Ghost Rider in particular is one of my favorite options to use in PvP. He's a good combination player if you're bringing him in with Loki. He's such a fast character that, you know, Hell Cycle, he'll end up doing bleeds for 2 turns on the opponents, and then once again he can take advantage of that with Loki as well. Penance there, as you guys know, this one is a pain as well. You do draining. If anybody has gone down on your team, you take advantage of this, and if he's charged, you're going to be draining and healing back up again. But then his passive, and this is going to be a good one to start talking about more though, his passive is also very, very good, because if you pair this guy up with another supernatural character, you fill the speed bar on self and all supernatural allies as well.
Yeah, so that makes that team super, super fast, especially if you have the more the Loki or Hela combo. That whole team just becomes extremely quick and a very quick kill type of team. It works really, really well for players that don't have some of the newer type characters. Mordo has a great kit. He is applying stun with his mesmerize, his special, and applying blinds to the enemy opponents. He's applying heal block with his ultimate, which is also cannot miss, and his passive is applying heals to him and any supernatural allies, aka Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
and also giving some ability energy. So it's a great combination and definitely something I would suggest if you do not have some of the characters that we have already mentioned above.
Yeah, for sure. Two definitely good viable options still in PvP to this day.
Yeah. So the last honorable mention that we will be talking about, one of the best tanks in the game, we have Red Guardian. He is Drax 2.0 with his on-spawn taunt. He has a great kit. His ultimate is going to apply an ability block to your opponent, and his special is going to clear negative effects from himself and heal your entire team. He is a great choice to counter a lot of different characters, including Mr. Sinister, if your opponent has him. And go ahead, Ken. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think he's a great tank. He's like you said, Drax, but I think he's Drax on steroids.
Yep.
This guy brings, a complete package too when it comes to what he can do on the battlefield. And not many tanks, or actually, I don't even know, but ability block on this guy it's gonna be a fun thing to do. Being able to ability block someone and take advantage of that if you have anybody that can spread it too at the same time. But yeah, this guy does it all: survivability, ability block, on spawn, getting that taunt so the rest of your team can't get going without getting any damage. So yeah, he's gonna be one to watch for sure in the future in PvP.
Absolutely. All right, guys, thank you for joining us tonight. I am so happy that Ken was able to join me for this video doing the top 10 PvP characters outside of the ban list that we discussed on his channel. Please go check it out. The descriptions for his channel will be down below. So please subscribe to his YouTube channel. And Ken, where can they find you?
Yeah, for sure. As you mentioned, I definitely am getting going in YouTube, but I also stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I want to say thank you again for having me here. It's always a party when I get to hang out with Nietzsche and talk some PvP. We know we love some PvP. And like I always say, PvP is not going anywhere. Deal with it.
Hell yeah.